Here we go. Third time's a charm. Third time's a charm. Okay, so I'm just going to hang out here. And I tell you what, if it tells me that my connection is unstable one more time, I'm going to say, I think you're lying because my Wi-Fi is very, very strong here. So anyway, I'm just going to sit and wait a moment or two and see if anyone is hearing me okay after it appears that I have frozen several times. So yeah, so let me know, any of those people that are watching, that you can indeed hear me and see me. And there we go, we have one person showed up. So just pop me a message in the comments, will you, and just let me know if you can indeed hear me and see me. And then I'll have to talk to the CEO of YouTube here. So yeah. Okay. Well, listen, guys, I am going to go for it anyway, and I'm going to take us into the meditation because everything seems to be fine from my side. So I'm just going to take an absolute leap of faith and trust that it is exactly how it's meant to be. So I was talking, and I don't even know when I froze on the last video. Do you know what I mean? Or on the last live. So anyway, we're just going to pick it up from the alchemy codes. Okay. So now I'm going to be talking about Sekhmet and Isis, right? And I spoke about in my other video that I had indeed really gone into a deep channel with Isis and Sekhmet. Hey, you're back. Well done. Okay. So I think we have success. Yes. Can you all hear me and see me? They can't stop me. I know. Michelle, I was like, oh no, honey, I'm sorry, but I've just been through so much death right now. You playing with the wrong person. You can just move along, eh? I am not the one. Okay. Awesome. So we're going to have about 6 million lives on my channel, but hey, it's just going to get a lot of me. All right. I love that. I love that. Thank you, everyone, because that was just like, I don't know. But wherever we left off, we were having a fat chat, or rather I was, about alchemy. But like, let's talk about Sekhmet and Isis now. Woo, the team's back together. So Sekhmet and Isis, I have been very much like this and like this. And I brought a channel through the other day. Some of you may have been super connected to your guides. Some of you maybe not by going through this time. Now, I have been experiencing it where, okay, two things I want to share with you here. Changing of the guard, as I call it, is when you go through profound shifts and changes in your life, and you've got like your whole team is around you. So you've got your ascended masters and your guides and all the rest of it. And what happens is when you go through a shift, you basically that group of teachers steps back, and then a new group of teachers steps in, and that's what I'm talking about, changing of the guard. So when your team, your council of light, swap seats, as it were, you're going to feel almost absolutely like, whoa, it's quite vulnerable. There's like nothing going on. You're like, what's going on? And then a couple of days later, you feel the energy and you're like, oh, okay, I've got a new board meeting members, and that's kind of like how it feels. But this time I have found that everybody, meaning my whole team, usually talks to me here silent. I've known they're there, but they're just silent. So I had a fat chat with Sekhmet the other day, and I was like, listen, I have been through the ringer and I've just been crying and wailing, and it's been a very, very intense time. She said to me that the most powerful and important time, critical time for a mother to sit back is about now. Because she said she needs, like, she has been sitting back as my mom to watch me go through what I need to go through. And she said, had I picked you up when you fell, you would have learned nothing. You are now at a point and a level where you can do it yourself. And you needed to know that. I wasn't too far away, but she wasn't talking to me at all. And I was like, man, you're like, this is like, but then when she said like, that she stepped back for me to kind of go for, I think it's an embodiment portal. That's what I think it is. And I think that they're going to be stepping up more and more and more, because the voice you hear is them through your own filter. So this is unprecedented times. You know what I mean? I'm going to be doing a lot of videos when we get to November, talking with Toth. We're going to be channeling a lot with him. And it's all going to be about that embodiment. Are you living it or are you worshiping it? Are you living them or are you worshiping them? One's going to give you embodiments, one embodiment, oneness consciousness, and the other one's going to keep you in separation. feeling like 80% downloaded, can't quite get to that end, you know? So I think that there's a lot of weird, kind of magical, strange things going on, but I think it's a good sign for each and every one of us to show us that we are indeed, we've grown in our power, and we've grown in our strength, and we've grown in our wisdom. Now, wisdom can only be attained when you've applied what you have learned and put it into experience. Let's go back to the Hecker codes that I was talking about. Intention plus action equals creation. We are in the action phase. So in a way, applying what you know as wisdom, what you know as knowledge, living by it becomes embodiment. And when you've lived by that knowledge, it then becomes wisdom. Merlin has told me time and time again, until you are at that point, hold thy tongue. And Marie doesn't hold thy tongue very often. So that's been a lesson on its own. So that's kind of like where I think we are. That's why I wanted to do this video as well, because there's different things happening and it's not the same as what we've known before. So now, as I sat here with my Sekhmet here and sitting at my altar, I sat there and I, for the first time, felt such a powerful connection between Sekhmet and Isis. And the gist of the meditation we're going to do now and come in together as one is to assist us, and we're going to be doing a lot of this, in really running the energy of planting our seeds of creation into the new earth, making the migration. I keep calling it the Great Migration because that's what it is. I also live in Africa as well, so whatever. There's the Great Migration from there to there, okay? And we've got to start shifting ourselves. So we're going to do it in consciousness, but then I ask you, after today, okay, what are you going to be doing in your physical day to match it up as above, so below? So we're going to shift the energy energetically, but then what are you going to do? Where are you going to show up in your life today to do something different? I've actually signed up for a LinkedIn business course. I've signed up for more DJ lessons. I have signed up for many new things, actually, to do things differently. Shitting myself? Yes. Doing it anyway? Yes. Do you know what I mean? So I'm telling you, it's normal. It's normal. So, you know, we got to pitch up to the party. What are you going to do that's different? So before I dive into our meditation and activation, okay, so I'm just looking here. Leela, Unstoppable, you froze right before you were about to tell us that you knew when you were doing something you didn't want. Oh, yes. Let me just revisit that before we go into the meditation. I really love to give you guys practical things to test in your life rather than just doing it in meditation, because it's actually here we really need to work, right? Because that's where the miracles really do happen. So what happened? Thank you, Leela. What happened was I was having a shitty day with accounts yesterday and other things I didn't want to do. And today was my DJ day, as I told you. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to put it to a bit of a test. So yesterday was a hard day and I didn't feel very well. I felt yesterday there was some energy going on. I had chills in my body all day, like I was purging, transforming something. I don't know. I felt a bit funky yesterday. So now, basically, yesterday was a bit of a shitty day. So I was doing things I didn't want to do. Accounts, right? So I went and I observed and I was like, feel how you feel when you're doing this. And I was having a rotten time. And then I actually felt how the day played out, because my focus was, I fucking hate this. I don't want to do this. Listen, we're all going to do things that are unpreferable, but I could have had a better energy doing it. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, I was in the energy of don't like it. So that's kind of like the energy that I worked with in action to bring into the day. And the rest of the day was quite shit. Today I woke up and I thought, right, let's put this alchemy to the test. My intention is I'm going to DJ mix, right? After that DJ mix, I'm then going to go in and I'm going to take action with it, which means I'm actually going to play music. I'm going to put a mix together and I'm actually going to play it. And then the creation was, I've had a fab day today. Fabulous. Is it because the wind was blowing in the right direction? No, I was conscious, being a conscious creator, being very present with my Hecker codes, not just like letting the day run away with me. So that's a very, very perfect test. Be present with everything that you do. That's where you're really going to notice where change comes. So my question to you is, what is your contribution in every day? If you're sat gossiping in the school car park, that's your contribution. Guess what? You're going to get more of that back. If you are basically sat there, you know, like me, oh, I hate this. I don't want to do it. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to cultivate more of that because the universe wasn't watching me do my accounts. The universe just saw Marie in a big black funk going, oh, well, we'll match her. You know what I mean? So be really consciously aware on what you're doing. So, like I say, intention plus action equals creation. If you put your day into 3 parts like that, right? It's energy loves order. Look at your life as the big picture with Hega codes. The intention was you were born and you were like, right, I'm going to grow up. I'm going to make sure I don't die. I'm going to grow up. Your intention then was like, I'm going to start to awaken. That was the intention. Then ask yourself, how much action did you have to go through? How many breakups did you have to go through? How many disasters, situations? That was the action phase of having to purge all that shit. And then the creation is that you are enlightened and you hold wisdom, right? So you can look at it as a bigger picture or a smaller picture. Real powerful stuff, man. Real powerful. So let me take a beat and take a breath. Let me read some messages. Yeah. The energies yesterday were a little bit wonky. I'm glad it wasn't just me. Today feels a lot lighter and freer, and it's going to be a bit like that. And like I say, I did get told yesterday, and I want to say again that this transformation, forward propulsion, is a process, but it's going to take you to take action on certain things. And yes, it's going to be a bit uncomfortable, but it's not going to be forever. Stay where you are and do nothing about it, and don't commit it to yourself. Don't invest in yourself. It's going to become uncomfortable forever. So it's a no-brainer, right? So I'm going to now bring in the energies of Sekhmet and Isis, and I'm going to share with you the vision that they showed me, and we're going to work together as a team, as a tribe, as a pride, and we're really going to, we're going to plant some seeds in the right place, guys. So get yourself comfortable and get yourself in a place where you are not going to be disturbed, and we're going to go on an adventure. Okay. Right. Bringing all of your energy back into this space now. Taking a nice big deep breath in. Inhale. Hold. And exhale. Breathing in. Hold. And exhale. One more like that. Dig deep. Inhale. Hold. Make your exhale way longer. Breathe out. And then allow your breath just to move in through the nostrils, out through the nostrils. And I want you to get a sense and feeling right now of your power, of your inner authority, of the magic and medicine, the Heka, that you hold within you. And right now, each and every one of us that are gathering here, I don't see bodies. I see flames, all different colors, burning, which would be deemed as the heart space in the chest cavity. But I see your fire, I see your alchemy. I don't see wounded soldiers. I don't see broken spirits. I see masters. I see powerful, powerful beings who have been to this planet time and time and time again. And as I look through the darkness, which is the divine feminine, and I see your flames, these flames are emanating, each and every one of you, powerful wisdom codes. And each and every one of them are unique. Your flame is unique. And each and every one of you holds your space in your own right. The old self, the old physical body, carries the memory of inadequacy, restriction. But what I am visualizing and seeing here now, each and every one of you stood around me in a circle. I see power. I see ascended mastery. I see the streams of light that come from you to other planets, other star systems. This ain't your first rodeo. It's not mine. It's definitely not yours. And there is a moment to be taken right now to connect with the ancient one, the ancient being of who you truly are. And now, as we look at our bodies, which is the human, it's separate of us in a way that we can look at it from a perspective and understand and know that that human and that physical body holds the story of your activations for you to ignite the flame that you have right now. You carefully and meticulously chose that body, that life. But what we must understand is that is not your truth. It was the vehicle for you to be able to use. It's a tool, a vehicle for you to use here on Gaia to be able to work through the density that needed to be worked through. But as I look in our sacred circle now and all the beautiful flames, I see purples, blues, pinks, all sorts of hues. That is the essence of who you are. That is your power, untouched, unwavered, non-negotiable. So when we get to see ourselves in that way, we remind ourselves that we're not lost. We're not broken. The healing leads to the revealing. Heal, transform the darkness into light. That's what the alchemy does. You're an alchemist. Heal to then reveal. Base metal into gold. Highest timeline truth. So that your physical can now line up with your ancient one, your flame. Healing leads to revealing. So really giving yourself a little bit of time and space to connect with yourself as a master. No longer in this moment thinking through the mind of the filter of the human. You're a master. So let that sink in. And now, in your own way, the way you visualize this, let it come to you. You're walking in the desert, barefoot, with nothing but a bag, a small satchel strapped around your waist. And as you are walking, you fast realize that you are searching for something. You are walking, looking, seeking. And as you walk, the ground becomes harder and harder. There's less sand to walk on. The sun's more blazing than it's ever been. And you look around yourself and there's just nothing except wide open, expansive layers of it's just sand. It's just desert as far as the eye can see. Nothing hard. Soil. The cracks are prominent, like crevices that run on for miles, like veins. And eventually, even the sand of the desert and the aridness becomes even more barren. You're just walking on hard, cracked soil. And there is nothing. But in you, your being, in this you, in this vision, you're quite fine with it. Because in your mind, you're like, oh, hey, I'm going to plant some seeds here. But you feel a little bit desperate. There's nothing else to choose from. This is the best. Well, it's better than sticking it in the sand, at least cracks in the soil here, if you can call it soil. I'm going to put my seeds here. So you start to take your satchel off. You bend down on your knees and you start to tentatively take one seed out at a time. And as you're holding one seed in your hand, it might be quite big. Think about what that seed is. Is there an idea? Could it just be abundance? Is your seed about abundance? Maybe it's about being loved, finding the perfect partner. Maybe you're planting that seed to grow the clarity of purpose. Maybe you have an idea that you want to really kick off and you're ready to bury it in the earth. You look around and then suddenly there is a very, very heavy feeling in your chest. It's almost like your optimism has run out. For you know where you are. You're in a very arid, dry place. But through desperation, you take your seeds and you start shoving them in the cracks in the ground, almost shaking as you do it. The only moisture that could ever possibly moisten this seed is the tears that roll down your cheeks. But you don't stop. Your determination, your grit and determination is powerful. And you keep shoving these seeds in. And the more and more you're doing it, the more and more panicked you are. You're feeling like, got to get them in, got to get them in. And then suddenly, as you're bent down over your seeds, you look at the feet that have appeared in front of you. These feet are very well known to you. Because behind these feet, you see the bottom of a lion's tail. And you hear that gristly growl. And suddenly now, you are in a shadow. You are in Sekhmet's shadow. You look up, and she is just one big black silhouette up against the sun of Ra. And you're excited, upset, frantic, a little bit fearful. And you fall back and you're like, Mother, oh great Mother Sekhmet. And you just really don't know what to do with yourself. And you're actually a little bit of a mess. And she says, enough. And she growls, enough. And with that, you drop all your seeds on the floor. And then you're like, I need those. Oh my goodness, you're just a mess. She says, enough. Why are you planting here? For what purpose? There is no purpose. Nothing grows here. Look around. You respond, but there's nowhere else to go. There's nowhere else to go. This is as good as it's going to get. And she said, wrong. You are a child of Sekhmet. And you speak in this way? She picks you up by the scruff and she pulls you to your feet. Pull your shoulders back. You look up and she starts to say to you, remember who you are. And as much as you're feeling that emotion, suddenly there's like a ignition of energy inside of you where you stiffen your spine a little bit. You drop your seeds on the floor. And now all of a sudden, they're just not important. Where did you think any of these seeds were going to grow? And she starts to talk to you now. Wake up, soul. Wake up, child. This is not the dimension you come to create. This is the dimension you come to die. Death is beauteous. This dimension is beauteous. But you cannot wield your magic all in one dimension. Your reluctance to move through the death, rebirth, and resurrection is concerning. Why do you stay here? And you answer very clearly, Mother Sekhmet, I don't know anything else. I only know death. I only know pain. I only know trying. Disillusionment. She lets out this almighty roar because she gives you no sympathy. She was like, loud of this victim consciousness now. She says, this is enough. She said, this is the time when you are on the precipice of transformation. This is the place you come to die. This is the place where ultimate transformation occurs. But you, my dear, must walk through to rebirth. You must rise again through the sacred waters of Gaia, Through the sacred waters of the heart, you must rise again. And then with that, suddenly there is a big breath of fresh air. And Sekhmet now steps aside, and who comes walking towards you now? Excited like a long lost relative, which she is, it's Lady Isis. Oh, sweet child of mine, she says. She puts out both hands and she pulls you in, and she's like, where have you been? And of course, Sekhmet's like, she's been in the death dimension, not wanting to move. Look at all her seeds on the floor. And Isis was like, no, no, sweet soul. You are the one that changes everything. You are the alchemist. You have the power to turn death into rebirth and rebirth into resurrection. You know this. Remember this. And you start to like shake your head because it is like you've just been shaking off a fog. It's like, of course, I know how this works. Oh my God, how could I have been so foolish? So she takes you now, and Sekhmet looks on, and Isis grabs you, and it's like there's another scene going on. So you literally hop from this scene to another one, and you turn, and you are in awe because where you stand is on the banks of the Nile. In ancient times, though, without all of the built up buildings, there is nothing except beauteous sand, water, papyri, herons, blue lotus. You smell the air, and it is just so moist with that sweet air, the moisture from the soil, the moisture from the land, the moisture from the Nile. So much life teeming here. Sekhmet Sekhmet is there, but Isis is right next to you, and she's like a little child. And she runs off now to the Nile, and which is right in front of you. And she's like, look at this, look at this. And she's burying her hands in the water and picking up all of the soil underneath it, going, this is where everything grows. In fact, I've never seen Isis like this. She's very, very childlike. And look at this and look at that. And it's very much like a bit of a Disney princess movie, to be honest. But this is where you stand. And she said, bring your seeds, sweet soul. And as you stand there and wiggle your toes, you look behind you, desert, death, hot sun, right in front of you, Nile, water, fertility and growth. It's that close to you. You can literally go behind you, death, in front of you, rebirth, death, rebirth. Wow. And she's like, exactly. It's like a click of the fingers that you can swiftly move through these transmissions and transformations. So you're stood on the side of the Nile with your little bag of seeds. And Isis said, take a moment, sweet soul. Look around. And you do. And you see the green of the plants is just green. You see the big fat cattle drinking from the water. You see birds feeding, washing themselves in the water. You look at the fish in the water. You look at the crystalline energy that sparkles from the sun reflecting on the water. You feel the electricity and energy that everything is alive here. And now you start to feel it in your being. And then she says to you, sweet soul, take those seeds now. So you pull out a seed again, big one in your hand. And I want you now to take, you've got 3 seeds, you have 3 manifestations. The first seed, what is it? Because you're going to plant it into the banks of the Nile where the water laps over it. What does this seed represent? I want you to take a moment now, and when you have arrived at that, I want you to blow into your hand, into the seed, place the intention. And then you push that seed deep into that muddy, watery, wet soil. And now you take another one. Pull out your seed, hold it in your hand. What is the other seed for? You can feel this one vibrating. This is big. So as soon as you've come to the intention of that seed, I invite you to blow your wish, your intention into that. Then you plant it into the earth. And your final seed, which is the activator, the overall encompassing boom clack moment, that seed, what is your third intention? Hold it in your hand. You blow on it. Isis blows on it. And then Sekhmet roars on it. She activates some energy in that. And you feel it like a fireball in your hand, and you just push that into the earth with all the other two seeds. And then suddenly there is an explosion like Jack of the Beanstalk. You bolt back, all three of you actually. Sekhmet and Isis is just as surprised as you are. And these intentions just grow like rapid transformation. Feel that energy of those seeds growing, rapid transformation. Feel it in your body now. Alchemize it. Feel it. Feel the energy of change. Feel the energy of manifestation. Feel the energy of creation as it fizzes and bubbles in your own body. Yes. And your trees, my goodness, have already grown fruit. They are thriving. Thriving. And as you step back, you're holding hands now with Sekhmet and Isis. And they invite you just to take a look behind your shoulder once more. All of a sudden, the desert isn't so horrific to you or desperate, because when it comes to dying and allowing everything to die, it actually gifts you exactly that. And when you allow that to happen for yourself, that is the gift of transformation, the initial death, the willingness to go into it. Now your relationship with that arid desert is quite fine, because you're not trying to get something out of it, which is not what it wasn't meant for. There's a massive respect for that desert. But here where you stand, it all makes sense. And as you look at your plants that are growing, and you look around the Nile, there is so much abundance here, so much richness and wealth. And this is where you will action the seed planting of your seeds, your creations, your intentions. Because the resurrection will come over time throughout October into November. So visit this time and time and time again. But I want us to just finish in this meditation now. And I want you to feel the cohesiveness and conduciveness and support and alignment that's standing with your feet in the River Nile, standing in this place of abundance, magic, promise, fertility, growth, harvest. I want you to feel what that feels like. And you're quite fine with the arid desert behind you, but you're now transisted to this dimension. Feel what it feels like. And breathe it in. And now you create a circle between you, Sekhmet, and Isis, around your trees that have grown, which essentially is your intentions. They are protected by Sekhmet's fire and courageous power of purpose and intention and alchemy. And they are also protected by the promise of Sun, Isis, the golden goddess of the West. New life. New life. And they're also protected by you, who is the birth mother, the birth father. You were the one that created this for your sacred womb. If you're a man, you've got a sacred womb. We've all got a portal of creation within us. Just because us women have a physical representation of that doesn't mean that you men don't have it. You do. So now what I want you to really feel into is just the acceptance that this is a process, an acceptance that you were there, now you are here. And you're going to revel and enjoy in present moment in this space until such time it is time to leave this space to move into something else. But right now you're here. Enjoy it and receive it. So when you are ready, take a nice big deep breath in. Exhale. And then when you're ready, you can open your eyes. How are we all feeling? in our new dimension. And just while you're coming back, we're going to pick an intention plus action equals creation card. A hacker codes card or cards. And then when we go into the temple, last Thursday of this month, we will be definitely working with Osiris, because we're now going to be coming into full resurrection, which is like super important. So basically what would have happened, I'm so glad you enjoyed it, guys. What would have happened through our death walk, we then came into rebirth in October. Thank you, Isis. And Sekhmet. And then we're going to go into resurrection. And we kind of moved through that. So I want you to revisit alchemy in every single moment. I want you to see it in your life, in conversations. Oh, look at that. I had a conversation over coffee. We had an intention. Oh, look at that. We took action. And then what was the result of that? So being really aware of your conscious creations in every single moment, right? Because as we started off in the beginning, you are not your pain. That's not why you came. That was just your vehicle to get shit done. You're an ascended master. Each and every one of us are. And I know people don't like the word masters, but the thing is, let's break that down. What is a master or mastery? Is basically doing something again and again and again and again and just getting really fucking good at it. Do you know what I mean? So that's mastery. So I don't know how anybody can say, oh no, I don't like using that term because it's a big up. It's not. That's how you gain mastery over skateboarding. It's how you gain mastery over DJing. It's how you gain mastery over, I don't know, making an awesome cup of coffee. I mean, alchemy is everywhere, right? So let us just see, because I'm shuffling these cards and getting quite into it, actually. Let's just pick some. Let's see what they're saying. Oh, well, okay. So this is our intention, okay? A burst of magic. Hecka, woohoo! And these cards are the oracle of the 7 energies, by the way. I love them because it's a 7, and 7 is completion, and 7 is also Sekhmet's number. So ears wide open. So this is the action phase. Interesting. So this is Hugh. Ears wide open, right? So this is the action phase. So be listening. Be listening, okay, for inspired action. And then divine matrix. Okay, so that is what we're all joining together. Okay, this is the divine matrix, right? So how are you going to weave all of this together? Because one consciousness doesn't come from separation, right? So a burst of magic, which is the intention. Okay, so that is your Heka. We're going to work with magic. And this is Hugh, okay, breathing life into your idea, ears wide open. So what are you listening to? So maybe there's messages from spirit that needs to come through to say, what's your next move, right? But don't just sit there, whatever, just be aware of what's coming through. It could be that basically you're listening to somebody talking shit all the time and you just need to get out of it. Do you know what I mean? It's also that as well, So yeah, we are weaving a new reality together. Absolutely. And I want to emphasize this together. Look, I'm Aquarius. I'm always going to be about the rah, let's get together and all the rest of it. Really, this is what's happening now. It is now time for us to pitch up to the party, not as we are broken, because you're not. You're not broken. Your spirit is very, very strong, and your power is as well. So now how do we work the new earth now? How do we create that? Well, we have to first of all commit. So you have to pitch up to the party where your soul fam are, or your tribe is, temple, here, okay, those that feel called. Also, that's why I do the Sekhmet pilgrimage, because you're going to meet your tribe there. You're going to meet your tribe there. That's a big reason why I put these groups together, so we can meet physically. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to nothing's going to pull us together, right? It's just one of the things why I do those tours. So anything like that, it's about meeting our tribe, because a chance connection, a chance meeting with someone, just chit chat, not just passing in a coffee shop. I'm talking about getting out and meeting tribe. How do you not know that person on the tour, or that person that's on, I don't know, an ayahuasca journey you signed up for or something like that, and you happen to be lying next to them? How do you not know that you're supposed to start a business with them? How do you not know that they might be an ex-husband or wife? Do you know what I'm saying? But sitting in the back of the cave, you're not going to put yourself out there to have the universe come and meet you. So this is why I talk about, you will be challenged Can you invest in yourself? Investing in yourself is paying for things for you to change. I'm about to invest a lot of money in doing a LinkedIn business, because that's not spiritual courses. That's going to help me massively connect with like 220 million plus people who are basically like us. You know, I want to meet more people now. That's what I'm doing. Am I nervous about it? Absolutely. Do I know how to work LinkedIn? No, I don't. I've got a clue. I don't know what I'm doing, all these big business types. And then there's me. But you know what I'm saying? It's like we've got to put ourselves in our uncomfortable zone for spirit to meet us. So your homework is now, okay? And I want you to report back. Your homework is you're going to put yourself into at least one uncomfortable zone today, tomorrow, Sunday, over the next 3 days. What are you going to commit to? And when we go to temple, I want to hear, those that come to temple, I want to hear what you did. Now, those of you that don't know about temple is a free Zoom classroom. It's a temple teachings for the initiates. What we do is we work with the videos all the way throughout the month. It has a theme, and then we get together in a Zoom room where we can chat actually more interactively. And it's in Zoom, and you get the link from the website, which will always be in the write-up, which I will advertise about now. So look out for that information on the community posts in YouTube. The information will always be there. So that's your homework. That's your task. So are we up for the challenge? Can we get a hell yeah? Well, actually, don't say hell yeah. Can we get a woo yeah in the chats? Are we doing this? I'm waiting. Everybody's frantically going to their keyboards. Oh, yes. Woo! Thank you, Debbie. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. This is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So this is about us coming together now. Yes, yes, yes. Love it. All the woohoos coming through. Absolutely brilliant. So I love it. So keep the faith, because it's still a bit sticky with this Pluto energy. It really, really is. That's a big woo from Kylie. It's still a bit sticky, but we're still drudging up all of the last bits of pain. So be okay with that. Be okay with that. Remember, we're all stood at the side of the Nile now, so that's all we need to know. Okay. So, my darlings, so yes. Okay, inspiration. Lila, you used the magic word there, inspiration. Inspired action. Let's do it. So with that, my darlings, from my heart, Sekhmet's ancient 3,000-year-old heart, from this guy here, or girl, love to you all. Thank you for hearing my call and diving on this live with me. And I'm going to do these lives more often because they're kind of fun. I love you all, and we'll see you on the next one. And next time, no one's going to put baby in the corner and cut me off with my Wi-Fi. Lots of love, friends. Mwah. See you in the next video, fam. Bye-bye.